Good evening, this is WOMMLP operating out of Burlington, Vermont, 105.9 The Radiator. It's the Rocket Shop, and I am your host, Tom Proctor. With me tonight, it gives me great pleasure to welcome sad Boy Julius. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going this evening?
It's really good. About to get a lot better.
I like the spirit. I hope you've been coping well in the heat.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little bit sticky in the studio. Apologies for the lack of AC.
No worries.
I'm sure you'll be heating this place up anyway in just a second. We always like kicking it off with a song. So what you got for us?
I have Tell Me, produced by my good friend Rick Bell.
Okay, take it away.
So what's it gonna take for you to run away? I get stuck overthinking, but I'll still tell you I'm okay. I made all the prescriptions, they help me figure out my pain. Now I'm making decisions that I would never ever make. Baby, tell me what you want, we can hit the town. I just poured another cup and I'ma sip it till I drown. I'm in love with how you taste, that's why I always bring you round. Made me feel like I'm okay, but I know it's only for now, yeah. I don't wanna slow down, 80 on the highway, I don't know where to go now. I'm outside your window, please pick up your phone now. Nobody ever called me, cause I be on my own now. Swear I ain't my hometown, roll up, I'ma smoke now. They all think they know me, but I swear to God they don't now. And I think I'm addictive, cause shit don't leave me alone now. I think I'm too committed, because I don't ever slow down. Baby, what you need? I got what you want, put my city on the map. When I go back to Vermont, I'ma shut everything down. Everybody in my town gonna wanna picture when they see me walking around. So what's it gonna take for you to run away? I get stuck overthinking, but I still tell you I'm okay. All the prescriptions, they help me figure out my pain. Now I'm making decisions that I would never ever make. Baby, tell me what you want, we can hit the town. I just poured another cup and I'ma sip it till I drown. I'm in love with how you taste, that's why I always bring you round. Made me feel like I'm okay, but I know it's only for now, yeah. Shake it, dude.
Well, it's always great to have a hip-hop artist in the studio.
Thank you.
There is it's a bit few and far between in terms of other artists in Burlington, in Vermont in general, when it comes to hip-hop. We've got a ton of jam bands, got a ton of, obviously, indie rock and kind of everything in between as well, but really thin on the ground when it comes to hip-hop. How does that change the scene in terms of, you know, the other artists doing the sort of work that you're doing, collaboration, that kind of thing?
Well, I mean, there is kind of a little bit of a scene. So, like, I feel like everyone just, like, collaborates, you know? There's no one, like, oh, I'm on this pedestal, I'm better than you. Everyone just collaborates and works because such a small scene, everyone's got to be on the same page.
Yeah, for sure. And does that mean you've worked with a lot of people, other people in Vermont that do?
Yeah. Some of my frequent collaborators are Northeast Youngin. He's a really good friend of mine out of Rutland. Conmac from down in my area, another really good friend of mine. Rick Bell, who made the beat, he's a producer from my area as well. I mean, I've talked a little bit to Jax and like Ricky and all those guys, but I feel like those are like the, you know what I mean, the bigger ones.
I see.
Yeah.
Is it kind of the intention to get onto that kind of level in a way in a few years' time?
Most def.
Because you're quite young, right?
Yeah, I'm only 17 or 16, going to be 17.
Right. So how long have you been kind of putting your music out there rather than kind of, you know, workshopping it and working it within your own house and among your own friends?
So I've probably been putting music out for like 4 years, but I've been working on it way longer than that.
I see.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did read that you started at 8 years old, which is obviously quite half your life, in fact.
Yeah.
The music that you're creating at 8, did it have similarities of what you're creating now, or did you start in a completely different space and this is kind of what it's evolved into?
It's definitely evolved into this. I was like, I don't know, I thought I was like Eminem when I was 9, so I was like just four-door Ford type stuff, you know what I mean?
And yeah, how does that evolve in hip-hop? I mean, I again, hip-hop is not really the genre that I know very much about, so does everyone kind of start on that Eminem kick initially and then it ends up wherever else, or is there kind of like a different path for each person?
I feel like there's a different path for each person. I grew up listening to a lot of like lyrical rap and like boom bap type stuff, Biggie, Tupac. So that's what I was hearing. So that's what I wanted to create. But once I like grew up and started hearing like melodic stuff, I was like, I really like that.
I see. And in terms of the skill set involved in changing your sound to match the sort of stuff you're listening to, what's the learning process there?
Just a lot of like soaking things up, hearing how certain artists do certain things and like adapting that to my own music, or like, I don't know, just like listening to a lot of music has definitely helped curate my sound. And like, I don't know.
Does that also, in terms of, because I mean, Eminem's got a lot of story-based songwriting, or at least he definitely did back in the past. But you've got other groups that are definitely not in that kind of same genre or use their platform to storytell. It's more kind of in the club, and it's more of that kind of like party song, moment song. Has that been kind of something that you've grown into yourself? Do you tell a story when you write something, or are you kind of more about the vibe or the energy or the atmosphere for that one particular song?
I'm definitely a vibe person, because I can make like a million positive like super club pop like party songs, and I can also make like a acoustic song, like me crying on a song, pretty much.
Yeah. And have you ever kind of branched out into other genres? Has it always been
Oh
hip-hop?
yeah, definitely. I try to like be as versatile as I can. I've like dipped my toes into like some pop punk, some like rock kind of sound, but it's like mainly the melodic rap for me.
Right, of course. And when you collaborate, is it ever been with a band or musical instruments involved, or has it always been kind of, you've got your beat and you've got your lyrics and you kind of go for it?
Yeah, more like beat and lyrics, and you just go for it.
I see. In terms of your beats, and you were mentioning, I can't remember you said...
My buddy Rick Vell.
So Rick Vell?
Yeah.
So Rick Vell obviously collaborated with you in that last beat. How does that work in terms of you two working together? Is it you come to with him with the lyrics and the kind of idea, and then he crafts something around it, or is he got like kind of an iTunes full of beats that you're like, okay, I'm gonna take this one and then this one and then this one?
It's definitely a little bit of both. We've been like, there's been times where we've both been like in the studio atmosphere, and he's like just made a beat off rip, and we've done stuff with that. And then like that beat, he sent me it like forever ago, and I just found it in my email randomly and just made a song with it.
Okay, so so you knew this came through, maybe listened to it first time around, you're like, nah, I don't really know what to do with that, and then all of a sudden you're kind of looking through emails again, and boom,
yep,
this one actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Does that happen quite often, or was that an anomaly?
Oh yeah, I definitely overlook a lot of beats, because like I could listen to a beat while I'm in one headspace and then be in a completely different headspace a week later and be like, oh, that's perfect for what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah. So you were mentioning headspace. Is there somewhere you need to specifically be in order to write? Or is this kind of just all day, every day kind of thing? I've talked to a lot of artists that their notes section and the recordings on their phones, it's just whenever something pops up, they kind of write it down or record it. And some people just need that special place, either in the woods or in their house, where that's where they sit down and write stuff.
So I definitely have like, I can just write anywhere pretty much. Like I'll be on like car ride, I'll write something. If I'm in the bathroom, I'll write something. If I'm like sitting down for dinner, I'll write something. Or I could like, if I hear a certain beat, that'll just put me in a headspace to write the whole song and finish it right there.
I see. How long does it typically take you?
So anywhere from like an hour to like 2 days. It all just depends on the project that I'm working on.
So fairly quick, and is that then done and dusted, or is there tweaks along
Yeah,
the
there's
way?
a lot of demos, a lot of different processes. You know what I mean? I like to go back and make sure my mixes are perfect, and if I can't get it the way I want to, I'll send it to someone else to mix it.
Right. So a lot of this stuff you've been doing is also, I'm assuming, self-taught as well. Like there's a lot of producing on your end that I'm assuming that you had to get to a certain proficiency before you're ready to kind of release it.
Most def.
What was that process like? When did you know that it was ready to kind of like throw out there, or you were ready or skilled enough to throw it out there?
I feel like the first time I ever had that happen, I had like spent like maybe like 15 hours just watching YouTube videos on how to mix, and I like did something with my like EQ, or not my EQ, my mixer chart, and it didn't clip, and I'm like, that's what I need. Boom, I bet that sounds good, and I just put it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that feel? And how did you put that out there as well?
SoundCloud. That's like one of my main platforms. Love
Do you
SoundCloud.
get a lot of feedback from that, or is it kind of throwing it into the ether and?
I've had a couple songs that have like done. I don't really want to say numbers because they're amateur numbers compared to some people, but they've definitely like got up there. But other times it's just I put it out. I'm not a numbers guy. Just put the piece of art out and move on to the next.
Okay. And do you take feedback from people within that community
Oh, yeah.
and kind of adapt your own style for the next beats?
Yeah, I'm very open-minded. I'll take criticism from anybody
Okay.
as long as they somewhat know what they're talking about.
Right. I mean, it's one thing that the common layman says something. It's quite another thing someone you respect in the industry does. Well, I would love to hear another song.
All
So,
right.
what have you got for us?
This one's called Stardust. This is an unreleased from my upcoming project. It's still like very demo stages, but it's good enough.
Easy, why you doing so?
Okay, Sneezy.
Smoke a cigarette to the face. Loving you is just my biggest mistake. I regret I've been stuck in my head. I still wish I was dead, but you're there in my bed. It's okay. Feel like I'm dying and it's hard to escape. I took that letter that you wrote me today, ripped it in half while crying in the bathroom. I don't miss you, baby, but I know that I had to, cause I might fall apart in your arms. I took like 60 milligrams of dust inside of the stars. I know you kissing on my chain and taking pics from my cars, but you don't want this day to day, cause I've been living with scars.
Hello, no one is available to take your call at this time. Please leave a message after the tone.
Hey, I'm sorry, I know I said I won't call again, but
And I can get you anything, baby, what you want. Flights up out to Cali, I'll get you out of Vermont. Only for the real thing, baby, what is you want? Cause this is sad boy summer and I'll leave you if I want. That's what she said. Why you hurt me, baby? I said I don't even know you mean the world to me, baby. Think I'm upset cause you been curving me lately. I think you with someone else and that's driving me crazy. So I smoke a cigarette to the face. Loving you was just my biggest mistake. I regret I've been stuck in my head. I still wish I was dead, but you're there in my bed. It's okay. Feel like I'm dying and it's hard to escape. I took that letter that you wrote me today, ripped it in half while crying in the bathroom. I don't miss you, baby, but I know that I had to.
Stardust.
Stardust there by Sad Boy Julius. So, you mentioned you got an upcoming project.
Yes.
Currently in the demo stages. This is part of that. So,
Yeah.
Stardust was part of that. Tell me a little bit more about that project.
It's been in the work for almost like 8 months now. It's called Thanks for Nothing. It's like my first actual EP that I'm proud of, so I'm trying to put like as perfected as much as possible.
All right. So, you said it's the first EP you're proud of.
Yeah.
So that suggests maybe other EPs prior to this.
Oh yeah, I've dropped I think like 4 or 5 projects from the span of like when I first started putting out music to like maybe 2 years ago, and then I just kind of focused on putting singles out because I felt that was better to build a fan base, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems to be the go-to way of going forward for a lot of musicians now, especially as most people don't listen to EPs so much anymore.
Most stuff.
What makes this one different? Why is this one special?
This one's special to me because, I've dealt with a lot of hardships going through making it. The songs mean a lot to me. They're all very personal. Whether it's stuff that I've gone through, stuff that I've seen other people go through, it's just all like a very personal project for me.
Okay, and I'm assuming because you're spending such a long time on this one, the production values are going to be a lot higher. Is there anyone in particular that you've been really excited working with on this one?
Brody McKeegan, he's the engineer in Garden Avenue. He's a very, very, very respected hyperpop engineer, producer. He's an artist as well, but he's kind of like my golden ticket to the mixing.
Nice. And where is this at the moment, and when do you expect it to be ready?
I'm hoping I'll have all the final mixes back by like December. I want to get it out by like January.
Okay. So all in all, this is going to be a year-plus project in the end. Okay. So which is very different to some of your other work, which is like really quite quick and 2 days to write, and then I'm assuming not too much longer to record and perfect, and then kind of get it out there.
Yeah.
Does that make it? I mean, obviously the songs are a lot more personal, but does that make this record? Would you consider this your debut, if you will?
I wouldn't really say like a debut, but like if you think of it as like a SWAT team, this is like the thing that's going to bust the door open. You know what I mean? And then everything after that are the AKs following it.
Okay. That's certainly the first time I've heard that analogy before on here. Just out of curiosity, Sad Boy Julius, where's that name come from? Because you're AKA Cole, right?
Yeah, I'm Cole. Sad Boy Julius. Julius is my middle name, and I've always struggled a lot with mental health, and I feel like if I can put it in the name so people kind of know what they're getting into, you know what I mean?
Right.
Maybe it'll help someone relate to it more, or maybe they'll be like, I don't want to listen to that, and you know.
Yeah, or want to listen to that at certain times.
Yeah,
or
definitely. I feel like it's being upfront and like a name is going to help me find a target audience. I think, or just in general.
For sure. And is it being cathartic for you to write? Is this why you started writing it? Or has this been something that kind of, as you got older, you're like, actually, this is a really great way to kind of get my thoughts and feelings out there?
I think subconsciously, when I was younger, that's why I was doing it, but I didn't really figure that out until I was older.
Yeah, I mean, 8's pretty young age to really for that thing to click.
Yeah.
And so, do you use songwriting as a method to kind of calm down and?
Yeah, most definitely.
That's excellent. Do you have is it the people you collaborate, do they approach it from the same direction, or have they all got kind of their own impulses and reasons why they've kind of come to the table here?
I feel like it's similar reasons, but everyone's got their own reasons.
Right. Do you tend to collaborate with people who have that kind of same part of this genre? There's obviously a million different sections of hip hop and rap. There is, the more kind of emotional and thoughtful kind of rap. Do they kind of work on those kind of areas as well, or are they kind of dipping their toe into your water rather than you kind of swimming around in their pool?
I feel like they're definitely dipping their toes into my water because like I don't know how I want to answer that. Sorry.
It's all good. So you come from the north of Vermont, right? St. Albans.
Yeah.
So just a bit up the road. I've noticed you referenced Vermont a few times in your songs already. Is the place you've grown up in, is that a big influence in terms of the work that you do?
Yeah. I feel like anything to get out of St. Albans, you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't know, it's boring. It's like little drug town. There's nothing really there.
Yeah, I mean, everywhere in Vermont's got its pluses and negatives. Someone's a transplant here, I guess it's probably a bit easier for me to see some of the good points. But, I mean, I guess if I grew up here at 16 years old, I'd probably want to get out like I did with my own hometown. So is that the kind of prevailing sentiment among your friendship groups of like, okay, we just want to get past 18 and then we can just get the hell out of here and go elsewhere?
Yeah, I feel like for a lot of like Vermont artists and in this like scene, that's like the goal is to get out of Vermont, like west or Atlanta. That's where everyone's going.
I was going to say the next question was going to be where is the aim? So LA or Atlanta or anywhere else?
Yeah, maybe Arizona. Arizona's got some good opportunities.
Interesting. I've never heard Arizona in terms of a good ground for music. What's apart from for like your country music and your kind of your desert rock kind of style. So there's a good scene down in Arizona for hip hop.
Yeah, for a lot of like underground hip hop. Like I feel like it's like there is here. Like there's nothing to do, so people throw shows. Everyone goes to them. Like I don't know. I want to say it's kind of like the punk scene, like early 2000s punk scene, just brought back. Everyone's going to shows because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, probably a lot of space down there to do it.
Is
there a lot of shows happening in Vermont, in St. Albans and Burlington that maybe I don't know about?
There's been like the Love Kelly shows for like hip hop. This is some promo time for me. I'm doing a show August 12th at Swan Dojo. Me and a couple other Burlington acts like Real Ricky, Con Mac, Blue Pack, Pleasant Boys. And then I believe there's something happening at Arts Riot, or that just happened at Arts Riot with 99 Neighbors. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I heard about that one actually. There was quite a few people playing that evening, right?
I'm not sure, I wasn't there, but I knew that they were there for sure.
Yeah, I got a friend that performed a little bit.
That's awesome.
At that show. Swan Dojo on August 12th. I don't know if you've been there before. That place is great vibes, great atmosphere, no air conditioning, no free flowing air. You got to be
Oh, boy.
prepared for that. You're gonna sweat a lot, drink a lot of water.
All right.
Is the gig at Swan Dojo going to be the first gig in front of an audience?
So I did like me and some friends put together a show down at the St. Albans Bay. There was like 40 people there maybe, but it helped me get comfortable for
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, 40 people is still 40 people. I've
Yeah.
definitely been at gigs with fewer people than that. In fact, Bob and I both have been at gigs with fewer people than that. So how did that first gig go? How did that feel for you, that kind of first time on a mic with an audience?
It was really scary.
Yeah,
But
I can imagine.
by like the time I was like halfway through the first song, my adrenaline was just going. It was really fun.
Yeah, easy to click into it. I'm sure that build-up beforehand was massive. And
Dude,
then-
I was freaking out for like a month. It was bad.
Oh, that's how you know you want it, though. I mean,
Yeah.
that's feeling that you're alive. To feel that, and it's great that you had that experience and you want to go do it again. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic. Are the people you're playing with at Swan Dojo, are they people that played that first gig, or are these a new set of people who are?
It's a new set of people.
All right. And did you meet are these kind of people that you've collaborated online before? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met them all through like Instagram or like Twitter, all that stuff.
Okay. Awesome. And does the community? I mean, I know of the music community in Vermont is quite welcoming. A lot of people help each other out. There's people that play multiple bands. Is that the same in the hip hop community here? Are you kind of all like
Oh, for
telling
sure.
each other where the next show is, and could you please collaborate on this? And what do you think about this kind of track and whatnot?
For sure, there's definitely the people who like with every scene, they're gonna gatekeep what they like. But for the most part, everyone's really, really chill about like, oh, do you want to come perform here? You can come do this, or you can use this space, or like, they're usually pretty cool about it.
And obviously you're 16, so I would think that's fairly young. But is that the case in the hip hop scene here? Is there quite a lot of people your age,
Yeah.
or is it?
A lot of young creatives.
That must make it feel very fresh, like a lot of different and new ideas. Is there some old heads as well?
There's like, I wouldn't even really say old heads, but like, there's like people who have been around like a lot longer than us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they helpful, or do you kind of feel like they kind of almost holding you back a little bit and not maybe going for some stuff that you feel is quite innovative and new?
I feel like a good chunk of them are really, really useful, but then there's like the people who are like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess once you've been around the block a few times that, all the newcomers might not be as interesting anymore, and you've got to wait a little bit of time to see who's going to make it and who's not. Well, I would like to hear another song. So
All right.
What have you got for us?
I believe this one's called Night Racer.
It's Roxa on this track.
Yeah. Baby, I'm a night racer, heartbreaker, ready to attack. In a foreign on the highway, we ain't looking back. Keep a baddie by my side, chances are she's in my lap. And I'm from the dark side, baby, you know where I'm at. I'm a night racer, heartbreaker, ready to attack. In a foreign on the highway, we ain't looking back. Keep a baddie by my side, chances are she's in my lap. And I'm from the dark side, baby, you know where I'm at. Baby, you know where I'm at, think I'm worth a couple racks. Come and kick it with me, shawty, I think you need to relax. You can find me in the back, fill my cup, I'm smoking thrax. Posted with a demon shawty who got tattoos on her back. They say they think I'm up next, I don't care, I'm not impressed. I'm a sad boy, baby, I just wanna get my check. If I on the low, then I'll let everybody know. That's a risk that I'm taking, I don't need another hoe. You on the low, then we'll let everybody know. If I love you on the low, then we'll let everybody know. If I love you on the low, then we'll let everybody know. That's a risk that I'm taking, I don't need another. Night racer, heartbreaker, ready to attack. In a foreign on the highway, we ain't looking back. Keep a baddie by my side, chances are she's in my lap. And I'm from the dark side, baby, you know where I'm at.
All right, Night Racer there by Sad Boy Julius. So I did notice you had a short break in making music in 2019, and then came back in 2020. Pandemic hit. You're like, music.
Yeah.
I want to put it out there. A lot of people spend a lot of that time inside, obviously, isolated. How did that help with your either creativity and your output?
The pandemic was actually not that fun for me. I was like super depressed the whole time because I couldn't go do anything. It definitely helped me like songwriting wise, but recording situationally it was not like I didn't have the means to do it. So I just spent all of quarantine just like writing music. I have like over 150 songs I wrote during quarantine.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how many of them have you kind of like used since then, post quarantine?
Like 4.
Okay, so well, at least you managed to get 4 songs from it. I'm sure you learned quite a lot as well, just through the process.
Oh, yeah.
You can't write 150 songs without learning a few things about songwriting.
For sure.
And is it, when you say, you didn't have the means to do it, is that because you just didn't have the equipment at your home at that point?
Yeah, my setup was like, I was missing like a good third of it. I didn't have a microphone. My Fruity Loops was like all out of whack. It just wasn't a good time.
Got it. And have you been kind of scrimping and saving in order to get all that equipment together? How do you manage that? I mean, you're 16, so I can't imagine
I
too many
worked-
jobs out there for that.
I worked at Subway for a little bit. That definitely helped bring in the money. My dad was super supportive. He helped me buy a lot of equipment. My mom as well. Just like the family being super supportive was one of the main ways I got my stuff.
That's excellent. So your family's definitely backing you.
Oh yeah.
That's fantastic. I mean, that's more than a lot of people have. So that's really great.
Yeah, for sure.
And is it the case you kind of like poring over Amazon listings for the right microphone and the right loop machine and etc.? Have you got in mind what you want before you buy it, or are you kind of like?
I knew like what brands I wanted, but like the specific like headphones I didn't know, and like the microphone I didn't know. I just got like the cheapest ones that were
Right.
still nice.
I mean, that's what you do when you're first starting out. The amount of equipment I've chopped and changed and replaced over the years, because I started out with literally whatever I could afford initially. Has getting everything together now really, once you kind of got that last thing in place, was it like boom, 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 I'm getting songs out every other day at that point?
Not at first. It took me like a good probably like month to get back in the swing of recording, but once I was like in it, I was like song after song after song after song.
Yeah, and obviously a great way to learn your equipment and its limitations and
Most def.
and how that works as well. So prior to getting all that equipment, was it just a case of just writing the songs down and practicing, knowing at some point you're going to have that right equipment to kind of get everything going?
Yeah, definitely. Like just like repeating it over the beat, working on the flow, like just even in my head with nothing.
Yeah. It sounds like you've been really dedicated to this. This is how much of your day to day or week to week does this take up?
I probably spend like 6 hours a day locked in my room doing this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some real focus, especially, I don't mean to do disparaging about your age, but for a 16-year-old, that's a lot of focus. I was
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Is that even in summer and whatnot, you're kind of like
Yeah.
staying inside? But I mean, obviously during winter, it's not
Oh,
a
it's
bad
fun
hobby
during
to
winter.
have because it's cold as hell outside.
I mean, probably not as much during summer, but I get out a little bit, but I still like to just like keep creating.
Yeah. Do you play this music? Have you introduced this music to people at school?
Oh yeah.
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 Is this something that other students kind of also do, or is this kind of a bit more unique to you in terms of your high school?
I mean, there's like a couple people who do it, but like a lot of people like mainly know me for that. That's like, that's the kid that makes music.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Does that feel good? Does anyone kind of like?
Sometimes, I mean, no one really accepted it at first, but once they realized like I wasn't stopping, they were like, oh, okay, I can get behind this.
Right. It wasn't just kind of a flash in the pan. It wasn't just kind of a phase. It was something you're
Yeah.
really dedicated and interested in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. And you did mention you've tried out some of the genres as well. What was it like kind of going down those pathways, and why did you kind of turn back and return to hip hop?
So producing is like so hard. Like it's just so much more than recording your voice over. So I like made like one crappy little dubstep song and I was like, I can't do that. No matter how hard I try, I will never be able to do that.
Right. There's a lot to it, as you said. I mean, I'm sure creating all hip hop, same deal. But you've been doing it for so many
Yeah,
months
it's like
and
a
years
game
now.
to me now.
Right. Is there any kind of other genres that you are interested in and maybe not got the time or the right equipment or the energy right now for it, but you kind of like at some point I want to spend, a few months trying to figure this one out.
I definitely want to do like a pop rock album. I feel like that would be super cool, like some Blink stuff. I really like that old 2000s sound. And I feel like once I get either in the right place to do it or have the right stuff to do it, I feel like that would be something that people could see from me.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a couple of bands kicking around this area as well that are starting to get that. Also, you just killed me a little bit by saying old 2000 sounds. That was literally
I'm sorry.
literally the music I was listening to when I was your age.
I love that stuff.
I love me some Blink.
Oh, yeah.
Great old school Blink, some 41. Yeah, so what's next for you then? So you've got this big project coming out in January. I'm assuming you're probably going to have a few singles and whatnot coming out in between then and now, a few gigs. But yeah, what's your long-term vision?
Long term, honestly, I want to be stable. I don't have to be a big famous human being, but I want to be able to make money from this and not have to work a normal job, and at least get out of Vermont with it. I feel like that would be cool. Even if it doesn't go as far as I want it to, I'll have the story.
Right,
you know
of
what I mean?
course, yeah, and you'll still end up seeing and being in other places and having new experiences, and who knows where that ends up leading you.
Exactly.
It can take you in many different directions, this kind of thing. So is that the plan, like, as soon as you hit 18 out the door, or is it?
I want to save up money for like a year or two, and then I'm gone.
Okay. And when do you graduate? You graduate high school?
Next year, 2023.
Okay. With an eye on kind of like just nose to the grindstone, going to work whatever job, and just try and get as
pretty much
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, more power to you, man. That's it's definitely this part. I'm assuming it's pretty hard, but once that kind of adventure, once you get your bindle together and get on that train, it all starts getting very exciting and very interesting. But
Most
it's great you're putting in the hard work now. Do any of your songs kind of reflect that urge to kind of get out and go to these new places?
I might have like an unreleased song, but off the top of my head, I don't think that I have any released right now.
Are you mostly just singing at the moment about your own personal experience around St. Albans then?
Yeah, just like with life, St. Albans, everything.
Yeah. Well, we would love to. You got, I believe, one last song for us, so we would love to hear that to see us out with.
All right, sweet. This is Come Down. Sorry.
Love, can't get her on my mind now. What's love, baby, come and find out. Double cup, mix it with the Sprite now. Too high, baby, I don't wanna calm down. Rolling off a bean, got me high now. I think I might go around and die now. You want all of my love, but I forgot how. Got me so fed up, I can't calm down. Cocaine love, mix it with the cake mix. That at the crib, need a facelift. You know I'm one of a kind, you can't replace this. Baby calling my line and never say. Cocaine love, mix it with the cake mix. Bad at the crib, need a facelift. You know I'm one of a kind, you can't replace this. Up, can't get her on my mind now. What's love, baby, come and find out. Double cup, mix it with the Sprite now. Too high, baby, I don't wanna calm down. Up, can't get her on my mind now. What's love, baby, come and find out. Double cup, mix it with the Sprite now. Too high, baby, I don't wanna calm down.
All right, Sad Boy Julius playing us out with Come Down there. Before you leave, let us know once again where you're playing next, and also how people can listen to you.
August 12th, Swan Dojo. Me, Real Ricky. It's actually the Wave Cave show. And then sadboy.julius on anything. Sad Boy Julius, all platforms. I have a music video dropping on Friday. You can check that out on YouTube. Sad Boy Julius.
Nice. Looking forward to seeing that, and love to hear your project when you get that released in January.
Thank you.
Best of luck to that, and it sounds like you're putting a lot of work and a lot of effort, and I'm sure it's going to end up being something pretty great.
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, no worries. All right, well, check us out next week. We're going to have Loud Moon in the studio, but for night, this has been WOMLP operating out of Burlington, Vermont. 105.9 The Radiator, The Rocket Shop. I've been your host, Tom Proctor, and good night. Thanks, Joel. Appreciate it, man. That was great.